Hello! So, the moon is in Gemini. We're wrapping up a lunar cycle here, and I think that's one of the most important things to keep in mind for this, where we are right now and where we'll be tomorrow as well. Because these energies are very excitable. Moon is in Gemini, Mercury is in Gemini, Venus and Mars are in Leo. These energies are all about action and now and excitement, and maybe if I just think enough about it or just get enough energy together, I can make stuff happen. And of course, yes, of course, we can always make progress, that's great, but it's really important to keep in mind where we are in the lunar cycle. If we were at a full moon with these energies, great, go out, do it. We're in the last phase before the next new moon. So essentially, again, patience today and tomorrow is going to be so key, because we're about to set ourselves up for the next 30 days. We're really like in the resolution phase of the previous 30 days. So some good ways to make use of this energy, though, besides being patient, making sure we don't overthink or overdo right now, and we just take our time and breathe, is with Mercury and Moon in Gemini, it's such a wonderful time to laugh with loved ones, to talk with female friends or family, especially like your mom, to connect with the feminine side with male relatives or male friends. We're in a very kind of fun, cheeky conversation type of space for today and tomorrow, where we could really have a lot of fun talking and having fun, playing games, making jokes, laughing with loved ones. So I think that's a key thing to focus on, or just to talk in general, even if it's with people you don't really know super well. This is a great energy to talk, and as long as it's really interesting to you, I think that's one of the key things here, is as long as you keep your interest peaked, as long as your mind is engaged, then today and tomorrow will be a lot of fun. Something that we haven't really talked about with Venus and Mars in Leo, we've talked a little bit about Mars being opposite transiting Saturn in Aquarius, but we haven't really talked about transiting Venus being opposite Saturn in Aquarius. Now, I actually have this energy, again, I have all of these energies natally, and so I've worked with this throughout my life, and I've come to understand how to work with some of the challenges of Venus opposite Saturn. This opposition, there's so much good to it, there's so much good. But there's a challenge here, especially for people who aren't used to these energies, of whenever Saturn and Venus are ever opposite each other, there's a challenge of potential loneliness, feeling isolated, unloved, unappreciated. And I think especially for those, this could go for anybody, really, when it comes to one's ego, one's expression of self, and especially with Venus and Mars being conjunct, and like we talked about in previous videos, that's a very passionate, very, in many ways, romantic and sexual combination. All of that being opposite Saturn, a lot of people, I think, are feeling very lonely right now and very unfulfilled, unexpressed. They feel like they either don't know themselves, or they're not appreciating themselves, or other people aren't appreciating them, etc. I think a couple things are good to keep in mind. Venus opposite Saturn, the world seems a lot colder than it actually is. So reach out. Go reach out to loved ones. Again, especially today and tomorrow. Have fun, have conversations. You'll overcome that feeling of loneliness and isolation that you might be able to feel with that Venus opposite Saturn. And then insecurities, that could be playing a part here. If you're feeling insecure, focus on what you can do to make yourself feel more secure in life. And know that this is a marathon. Saturn opposite Venus, and especially Mars, but really any energy, is challenging us to grow. It's challenging us to make ourselves more stable, to manifest our greatness all the more. Because we all have equal potential for amazing greatness. And of course, we all take it in different directions. So we have different, unique kinds of potential. But ultimately, we all have that potential. And the only way, though, that we're going to be able to manifest it is if we focus and we're diligent, we persevere, we're disciplined. And that's where Saturn comes in our lives. That's when, especially, and this is a little bit more the Mars opposite Saturn energy, all of us are being challenged at this point to recognize, okay, what functions? What am I really good at? What have I accomplished? Excellent, beautiful, enjoy, great. Celebration. But where can I grow? I always, it's not even really a joke. It's more of a metaphor, I suppose. I always say that with Saturn, we climb the mountain. We finally climb the mountain. And then we see what we didn't see before, because we only had the mountain right in front of us, which is endless mountains of continuing heights, and that's a good thing. That's an exciting thing. It means that life will always be interesting because there's always new mountains to climb. There's always new heights to scale to challenge us to keep growing, and that's what Mars opposite Saturn's all about. So focus on the marathon of your life. Focus on how you're growing yourself. If you're feeling isolated, insecure, etc., focus on how you're growing yourself to be able to be in a really good place so that you can be in a good place to be in a relationship. Because, as I always say, it does not matter if you have the ideal compatibility and temperament as per you meet somebody as a partner or even just a friend, to have a good social life, etc. But, especially with these energies, we're more focused on romantic in many ways. It doesn't matter if you meet the right person and the right, jigsaw puzzle pieces of energy and temperament and whatnot. If you are not in a good space yourself, if you are not growing and you are not self-actualizing yourself every single day, and what does that mean? That means we're taking care of our basic needs and we're progressing with our psychological needs and our fulfillment. We're focused on what is my life about? What is my purpose? I'm not just here to survive, I'm here to thrive as a human being, as a spark of the universe. So what is my life about? And continuing to go forward with that and not letting ourselves sell ourselves short. So many people in life in general, and I think especially with this kind of conjunction, this is coming to the foreground of human consciousness all the more. So many people think, oh, I just need a relationship and then I'm good. The thrills of that, the kick of that, the kicks, that will be wonderful. And that's all I need. It's not true. Of course, relationships are magical. Of course, they can be great. But if we're not in a good place, everything is more dim in our lives. Everything is more dull because we really need so much more than a romantic relationship or just sex. Both. We need so much more than that. It's a part of our life, of course, but I think that's one of the most important things to keep in mind over really the next couple of weeks, but especially the rest of this week with Saturn so tightly opposite Venus and Mars. Is that if you're feeling down, if you're feeling isolated, if you're feeling unloved, focus on loving yourself. Focus on bringing out the best in yourself. And that'll naturally attract, somebody who's right for you. And then great, then you can have the cherry on top. But ultimately, you gotta build the cake for yourself. Cherry on top of the cake, ice cream, sundae, I don't know, some kind of good metaphor of something sweet, that self-love, that cool, I feel good about myself. I'm growing, I'm loving myself. So I think that's really important to keep in mind. And again, on a more, so that's the big macrocosmic view of what's going on. On a more microcosmic, if you're feeling isolated, lonely, reach out, especially today and tomorrow. Reach out to loved ones and talk. It's really important. Ask questions about what they're going through. Don't think too much. I think that's the last thing to cover for today. Mercury is in Gemini. Again, I have this natally. So many of the energies out there right now I have natally. It's really weird. It's so possible to overthink things, especially with the moon in Gemini. So that's a good thing here as well. Get in the body. Don't get caught up too much in the mind and the emotions. If you're feeling kind of restless or over dramatic, diva-ish, or you just want to get stuff done, go run, go lift weights, do something that is good for your body, and that'll help with the mind. So I'll meditate. But I think right now we're in a let's get stuff done. So exercise and then meditate for best combination, I think, here. As always, I'm doing readings, so if you have any kind of questions, or you just want guidance on whatever, you just want to look at your birth chart and talk about it, I'm happy to do that, always. I've been doing it for 8.5 years, and I'll continue to do it for the rest of my life. So, yeah. However specific or vague your questions may be, or if you don't have any questions, it's always fun to talk and to figure stuff out. Infinite love to you, my friends. Namaste.